So let's start in an easy seated pose, whatever that looks like for you. So if you want to sit up on a block, if you want to sit up on your knees, a blanket or a cushion if you're at home, find an easy seat, whatever that looks like. Relax your shoulders, and we're going to start with some breath today called Nadi Shodhana, an alternate nostril, very balancing breath. I think we could all use a little extra balance right now. So sitting up nice and tall, lightly rest your thumb on your right nostril and your ring finger on your left. Now you can tap the second and third fingers to your third eye or curl them in towards your palm, and your pinky finger just kind of hangs out there in space. So take a couple of breaths here, really noticing the balance between your nostrils, and if the left or the right seems a little more free. The next time you inhale, close off your left nostril at the top of that in-breath. Exhale through your right nostril. Inhale through your right nostril. Lightly close the right nostril, open the left nostril, exhale through the left nostril. Inhale left, close left, open right, exhale right. Inhale right, close right, open left, exhale left. Inhale left, close left, open right, exhale right. And continue moving through some Nadi Shodhana to your pacing. So I'll stop speaking and you just breathe. If at any point it becomes too anxiety-ridden for you to breathe this way, just let it go and come back to your natural breath. Take one more full round of Nadi Shodhana. Let the last exhale be out through your right nostril, and then release your hand. Take a moment again to notice what you notice about the balance between left and right nostril, which seems a little more free. Perhaps you're more balanced at this point, and perhaps not. Close your eyes and let the backs of your hands or the palms of your hands rest on your thighs. I'd like to share a couple of readings from Dana Falls today as we practice. And the first one is from Breath of Joy, and it's called Love Life. Love life, the sheer adventure of sailing into the unknown. I'm not speaking here only about the bone and flesh life, the invisible and material life. Love the inner life too, the life of spirit, joy, and wisdom. Fully inhabit this temple of the body, yes, and also claim the mystery of the unmanifest, the two together weaving a seamless whole that clothes you in light. Love this life. Not some imaginary future where all your problems have been solved, all your rough edges sanded smooth. Love this life with its impossible demands, open to its many gifts, investigating whether what seem like boundaries are really there at all. Maybe your true nature is vast beyond measure, and the opportunity to know yourself inside and out is worth more than any treasure. Draw your hands to your heart. Take a moment to notice what is calling to your heart today. Take this moment to recall your true nature. Honor whatever intentions or thoughts or prayers are filling your heart today. And bow your head to your heart, tap your thumbs to your third eye, bowing in wisdom of head to that all-knowing wisdom of heart. And return your thumbs to your heart, open your eyes, reach your fingertips all the way up to the sky, and return your hands to heart center again. Now if you're up on a block, maybe you want to come down off the block. If you're on a blanket, you can stay though. And with your hands on your thighs, if you're sitting in an easy seat, cross your legs the other way and begin to simply shift the heart slightly forward and slightly back. Little tiniest cat and cow you can find here. So a tiny shift forward, heart lengthens, tiny shift back, spine curls. And just start to move with your breath, rocking forward, rocking back. Move to the rhythm of your breath, whatever that breath pacing might be in this moment. Return yourself to center, open your arms to a nice big T, and wrap your left elbow under your right. Give yourself a hug. Take a breath in here. Easy breath out. Inhale, open your arms nice and wide. Exhale, right elbow under left. Give yourself a nice big hug again. Take a breath in and an easy breath out. Inhale, arms wide and up, reach up and find heart center. Begin to spin yourself around to a child's pose. Bring your big toes to kiss and knees apart. If puppy serves you better, float your hips over your knees, rather than anchoring your hips into your heels. Let your forehead come down to tap the earth, or perhaps it'll be easier for you to place a block underneath your head. You will need a couple of blocks for your practice today, or something to support you. If you're at home, maybe you use a footstool and a couch on either side of you. Just something there to give yourself a little bit of lift. Take another long breath in and a long breath out. And begin to reach your hands forward, curl your toes, and begin to lift your hips into a brief downward facing dog. Bend and stretch your legs a few times. Keep your ears in line with your arms. And much like breathing into that Nadi Shodhana and noticing the imbalances between left and right, do the same thing with your body in this moment. Notice your right arm and your left arm, your right leg and left leg. And slowly return yourself to the earth. Bring your hands under your shoulders, knees under your hips, keeping your left hand on the earth. Raise your right hand, maybe a little bit, maybe a lot. And maybe you want to put blocks under your hands. Exhale, bring your right hand down, reach your left arm up. Exhale, left hand down, bring your right arm up. And again, option to use those blocks here. Exhale, right down, inhale, left up. Exhale, left down, inhale, right up. Exhale, right down, inhale, left up. Exhale, left down, find your downward facing dog. One more time. So curl your toes, lift your seat, maybe walk your feet back a little bit. And again, notice the balance between your left and your right side. Begin to slowly walk your hands to your feet. Come to the back of your mat, forward bend. Halfway lift on an in-breath, and let it go on your exhale. One more time, lift halfway. From your core, lift all the way up. Reach up, steeple your fingers, and take a little side bend to the left. And bring it to center, take a side bend to the right. Bring it back to center, hands to your heart. Inhale, reach wide and up. We'll do some half sun saddles. Exhale, forward fold. Halfway lift, inhale. Let it go, exhale. Root to rise all the way back up. Gather your hands at the top and to heart center, exhale. Inhale, reach wide and up. Lead with your heart, tee your arms, forward fold. Halfway lift, inhale. Let it go, exhale. Root to rise, inhale, all the way up. Exhale, hands to your heart. Inhale, one more time, wide and up. Lead with your heart, forward fold, exhale. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, let it all go. Root to rise, all the way back up to stand, lift up. Hands gather to heart center. Inhale, reach up, find a chair pose. Exhale, send your hips back, your heart forward. Inhale, reach up, lengthen your legs. Exhale, forward bend. Walk yourself forward, plank pose now. Bring your hands underneath your shoulders, stretch back through the heels of your feet. Take a breath here. Come down, knees, chest, chin, or chaturanga to the earth. Hands under the chest, anchor into the tops of the feet 3 times, cobra pose. Inhale, lift. And exhale, lower it down. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, lower down. And one more time, lift it up. And lower it down. Come back, downward facing dog. Curl your toes and lift your seat to the sky. Find your breath here. A nice, even, smooth pacing. Again, returning to that awareness of left and right side. Finding the balances and imbalances in your body in this moment. With your next breath, begin to slowly walk your feet up to the top of your mat. Find your forward bend. Halfway lift, inhale. And let it go, exhale. Again, halfway lift. And let it go. Root down to rise all the way up. Stretch up. Crescent moon, bend to the right. Come back to center and bend to the left. Come back to center, hands to heart. Inhale, reach wide and up. Chair pose, exhale. Just one beat. Inhale, reach all the way up. Wide arms, forward fold. Halfway lift, inhale, left foot steps back, left knee drops down, low lunge. Pause right here. Right knee is directly over your right heel. And stay really earthy. We're going to do a nice earthy flow today. So we're not going to be standing upright much. We'll just be down and low to the ground. Take a deep breath in and a full breath out. Much like we did in the beginning where we were shifting the heart forward and back, a really slight cat and cow, do the same thing here. So shift the heart slightly forward, press into your right foot and shift slightly back, keeping your toes on the earth. Inhale, shift forward, and exhale, shift back. Let it be super slow, super sweet, not a lot of movement here. Just getting any of those pops and cracks and Rice Krispies out of the body this morning. And the next time you bend into your knee, pause there. Begin to lift the left knee, and we're taking the blocks along for the ride. So bring them to the inside of the right foot, and we're walking all the way around to Skandasana. So bend into that right knee and pop up through your left toes. Take a deep breath in here and shift it to the back of the mat. So bend into your left knee and pop up through your right toes. Taking it all the way around to the back of the mat now, low lunge, drop your right knee, left knee is over your heel, and stay right there. Keep it again really low, really earthy. A few breaths here. And start to find that little shift forward and shift back again. So a slight lift to the heart as you shift forward, a slight rounding of the back body as you shift back. Settle into the bend of that left knee. We're doing the same thing here. We're coming right back around the direction we came through. So lift up through that right knee. Walk the blocks to the inside of the left foot. And turn to the long edge of the mat, Skandasana. Left knee deeply bends, right toes pop up. Take it to the front of the mat. Right knee deeply bends, left toes pop up. Take it all the way back around, low lunge, pause right there. Drop your knee, lift your heart. Step forward, forward fold, left foot meets the right. Inhale to a flat back, and exhale to let it all go. Root down, rise all the way back up, lift your arms, lift your heart, exhale, hands to heart. Inhale, reach wide and up, chair pose, just one beat, take a breath. Inhale, rise, exhale, forward fold. Halfway lift, inhale, and let it go, exhale. This time we'll step back through the right foot first, so the right knee drops down. We're doing the same thing to the second side. So again, keep your hands on the blocks, get really earthy, really grounded here. Start to find that slight shift forward and back again, working your way back to a half Hanuman this time. So maybe moving just a little bit more and starting to peel those left toes away from the floor as your hips go back. Still keeping those fingertips on the block. Move to the pace of your breath. And the next time those hips go back, pause and hold there. Pop your left toes up and send your heart forward. Deep breath in and a full breath out. Bend into your left knee, pick up your right knee and bring both blocks to the inside of your left foot. Walking to the other long edge of the mat and left knee deeply bends, right toes pop up. Take it to the back of the mat, right knee deeply bends, left toes pop up. Turn all the way back, low lunge, right knee is bent, left knee is on the earth behind you. Get grounded here, making sure left knee is over left heel, and then find that shift again, forward and back. Take your time, and eventually we will land in half Hanuman. So start to peel those right toes away from the floor as you shift forward and shift back. The next time your hips go back, pause and hold. Pop your right toes up and send your chest forward. Take one more long breath in, and as you exhale, bend back into that right knee. Pick up the left knee, and walk your blocks to the inside of your right foot. Shift to the long edge of the mat, deep bend in the right knee, pop up through your left toes, Skandasana. Shift to the front of the mat, deep bend in the left knee, pop your right toes up. And shift all the way forward. One more time, drop that back knee. Take a breath in and out here, step forward, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. And exhale, let it all go. Root down, rise all the way up, reach up. Crescent moon to the right. Back to center, crescent moon to the left. Back to center, chair pose, 1 beat. Inhale, rise, forward fold, exhale. Halfway lift, inhale, let it go, exhale, step yourself to a plank pose. This time as you come through, hang out in your back bend for 3 breaths. So maybe that's a sphinx, maybe that's a cobra or an upward facing dog. Move through to the back bend of your choice. Close your eyes, savor it, let your heart and your collarbones broaden and widen. And then bring yourself back to that dog pose, whatever that looks like. Puppy dog, downward facing dog. Move into it using the rhythm of your own breath. Extend your right leg, 3-legged dog. Take a breath here and maybe a bend, twist, and open. Stack your right hip over your left. Maybe a little peek under your arm. You can do the same thing from table pose as well. So if table works better, stack your hips from there. Extend your leg, balance your hips, and step through, coming back into low lunge once again. So drop that back knee. Now for this particular low lunge, we'll take a really kind of a splat pose. So I want you to not use the blocks if that's accessible for you, but bring your hands to the inside of your right foot. Maybe pick up that left knee and wiggle back a little bit. If uncurling the toes is accessible for you, do that. Walk your hands way across to the front left corner of your mat and begin to slide your heart down as far as you can. Maybe you can get your ears between your arms, head to the earth, maybe not. And maybe that right knee can fall slightly out to the right. Take one more breath in and out. Begin to pick yourself back up and bring yourself slowly back to center. Pick up that left knee now. Curl the toes if they were uncurled. Pick it up. Maybe that block comes back in for the twist. Raise your right hand to the sky. Bring your right hand down to the earth or to a block and step into forward fold. Left foot meets the right. Blocks underneath the hands now. Soften your knees and lengthen your spine to a half lift. Keep your right hand on the block and raise your left hand to the sky. Exhale, left hand down, right arm lifts, left knee deeply bends. Exhale, right hand down, bend the right knee and lift the left arm. Same thing we did on the earth, we're just adding a little element to the legs. Right arm lifts, right arm descends. And one more time, left arm lifts, left arm descends, last side, right arm lifts, and right arm descends, forward fold. Halfway lift, inhale, and let it go, exhale. Root to rise all the way back up to stand, lift your arms, lift your heart, exhale, hands to heart. Reach your arms wide and up, chair pose, 1 beat, exhale. Inhale, rise, exhale, fold, big exhale. Halfway lift, set the blocks to the side again, plank pose, step back. Your choice, knees, chest, chin, chaturanga, back bend for 3 breaths. Sphinx, cobra, upward facing dog. And when you're ready, downward facing dog. Hands under the chest, curl your toes, and lift your seat to the sky. This time we'll extend that left leg for 3-legged dog. Maybe a bend, twist, and open. Maybe you're staying in 3-legged table, and that's great too. Take the option that serves you the best. Take another breath here, balance your hips, curl your knee in, and step back into that low lunge. Drop your right knee this time. So keeping that right knee on the earth, you can pick it up and wiggle back. You can uncurl those toes. Begin to bring your hands to the inside of that left foot. Left foot stays where it is. Begin to walk your hands in the opposite direction, and maybe that left knee slightly slides out to the left. Maybe you can walk your hands out and get your arms down or your forearms down. Maybe you can let your head go, but be where you're going to be, where you can still breathe and you're not struggling. And let everything slide down towards the floor. Begin to return to the hands again, slowly walking your hands in to frame your foot. Curl your right toes, lift your right knee, hand under the block or not, raise your left arm to the sky. Squeeze your feet together, activate your legs, take another breath in, full breath out. One more deep breath here. And return your hand to the earth, step into forward bend. Grab those blocks again. Inhale, halfway lift. And exhale, let it go. Lengthen your arms, just one each side this time. Bend the right knee, raise your left arm. Inhale. Exhale, hand to the block. Left knee bends, right arm rises. And exhale, soften the knees, bend a little bit. Inhale, rise to stand, crescent moon, steeple the fingers, and bend to your right. Come back to center and bend to your left. Back to center, hands to your heart. Inhale, rise, chair pose, one breath. Exhale. Inhale, reach up, exhale, and forward fold. Set the blocks to the side, step to plank. We're making our way back to a child or to a puppy. So your choice whether you want to flow through or come directly back there. As you get back to that child, that puppy, come back to your breath. Settle into something with symmetry. Inhale and exhale in balance. And as you rest in your child or your puppy, notice the balance between your sides again, the nostrils, the legs, the arms, shoulders and hips. Take one more long breath in and out here. And begin to slightly lift your head, lengthen your arms, and find your downward facing dog again. And it can be a short dog. We're not going to move from here other than to come forward. So hang out here in your dog, whether it's narrow or wide. Pedal it out, so bend one knee, stretch back into the opposite heel. Begin to walk yourself forward to a forward fold, Uttanasana. Inhale to lift halfway to a flat back. And exhale to let it all go. Do that again. Inhale, halfway lift. And let it all go. Grab those two blocks and bring them up to the highest level at the top of your mat. And root down to rise all the way up. Stretch up. Hands to your heart. So we'll move back and forth to the front and back of the mat for this particular flow today, starting with a warrior one, and we'll move into some Parsvottanasana, some pyramid legs. We'll flow a little like we've been doing with the breath, waving our wings, and then a little balance pose to finish that flow off. So coming into the top of your mat, standing in Tadasana, lift and spread your toes, raise your arms, take a breath. Exhale, bring your hands down to those 2 blocks. Halfway lift, inhale, and let it go, exhale. Step your left foot back and bring your heel down for a warrior 1 shape. So the heels are in line with the sitting bones. Right knee is over right heel. Rise all the way up with your breath and squeeze your feet together to balance out your hips. Draw your belly in, take a breath in. Interlace your hands and place them on the outside of your right hip for a really gentle twist. Turn your gaze in the direction of the right side of your mat. Squeeze your feet together, breathe and soften. With your next breath in, begin to slowly reach your arms all the way back up. Interlace your hands at your low back and begin to bow halfway forward. So a nice shoulder rinse here, stretch your chest forward, that right waist goes back. Play a little bit now, begin to bend and lengthen that right knee. Bend and stretch. The next time you bend into that knee, pause and hold, that half humble warrior. And reach your arms forward. Bring your hands to the blocks. Now stretch your leg long, Parsvottanasana. Keep sassing that right waist back to balance out through your hips. Press strongly into the right foot. Stay with your breath. If you can bow in a little bit more, invitation to do that, or stay with a half lift. Long breaths in and out. With your next breath, lengthen your arms, keeping your left hand on the block. Raise your right arm up as far as you can. Maybe a little, maybe a lot. And bring your right hand back to the block. Do the same thing with your left hand now, as if you were finding a triangle pose. But it's a weird, wonky triangle, I know. And then bring the left hand back to the block. Keep switching. Right arm rises. Right arm descends. Left arm rises, left arm descends. And one more time, each side. Raise the right, bring it down, and raise the left. Bring it down. Soften into the right knee, walk the blocks forward, and lift that left leg, warrior 3 on blocks. Balance your hips as much as you can. Take a breath. And curl your left knee in towards your nose, big cat back. Inhale and extend back. Exhale and curl. One more time. Inhale, extend. Exhale, curl. Drop the ball of your left foot next to your right. Slowly begin to rise and turn your knee for a tree pose. Reach your arms up. Now you can stay right here with your foot on the floor. You can raise your foot up to your calf and let the arch of your foot hug your calf. Or you can bring your foot all the way up to the inner upper thigh, but find that balance of right and left. A push into each, drawing to the midline of your body. Take another breath in and out wherever you are. And exhale, hands to your heart, foot to the earth. Give your legs a little shake and we'll do the other side. That was fun, wasn't it? I love that flow. I did that the other morning. I was like, oh, I'm gonna use that. All right, it's all about playing, right? Lift and spread your toes again. Find that standing Tadasana, top of the mat. Unlock your knees, inhale, reach up. Exhale, chair pose. One breath, inhale, reach all the way up. Exhale, hands to the blocks and fold. Inhale, half lift. This time the right foot steps back, warrior 1. Bring your heel down in line with your hip. Left knee over left heel. Squeeze the feet together and rise all the way up, warrior 1. Draw your navel to spine, take a breath here. Interlace your hands and place your hands on the outside of your left hip for a really sassy little twist here. So keep that left knee bent, keep widening through the right inner thigh, bringing that hip forward. Draw your belly in and breathe. Take another breath in and out, and with the next breath, begin to raise your arms all the way back up. Interlace your hands behind you and begin to stretch the heart forward, bringing your spine parallel to the floor. Start to play now. Lengthen and bend that left leg. Keep your spine parallel. Don't feel the need to drop in any lower. Just let yourself play here. The next time you bend your left knee, pause and hold that, and swing your arms forward. Take a breath. Bring your hands down to the blocks. Begin to stretch your left leg for pyramid. Keep widening that right inner thigh back as you bring the left hip to balance with the right. Maybe you can bend those elbows back and bow in a little deeper, and maybe that's not for you today. That doesn't support your practice, so stay with a half lift. Keep the breath. Nice, slow, smooth inhale, exhale. With your next inhale, lengthen your arms. Right hand stays on that high block and raise the left arm to something like revolved triangle. Exhale, left hand comes down. Turn to the other side for some kind of triangle. Exhale, right hand down. Inhale, left arm up. Letting the hips shift as you flow. Exhale, left hand down. Inhale, right arm up. And one more time each side. Right hand down, left arm rises. Exhale, left hand down, right arm rises. Bring both hands back to the blocks. Soften into your left knee and walk the blocks forward for that standing warrior 3 on blocks. Balance your hips, turn the right toes to the mat, take a breath. And as you exhale, curl your knee to your nose. Inhale, extend everything long. And exhale, curl. Inhale, lengthen. This time as you curl in, tap the ball of the right foot next to the left foot. Use your core to slowly rise and turn that right knee out for tree pose, Vrikshasana. So perhaps hands come to the heart, perhaps wide, perhaps you slide your foot somewhere else on your leg. Find a focal point, a drishti on the earth or on the wall in front of you, and breathe. Take one more deep breath in where you are. And as you exhale, release that tree pose, give your legs a little shake, and find Tadasana at the top of your mat. Last opportunity here to flow through, so raise your arms up, find the freedom of your breath, and exhale, dive in. Halfway lift, step back plank pose. Knees, chest, chin, or chaturanga, flow through. Bring yourself back to dog, and then eventually find that earthy child or puppy pose once again. Big toes kiss, knees apart, or float your hips up over those knees, stretching your arms forward. From your child or your puppy, once again, notice the balance of your breath. Of the inhale matching the exhale. Of the left nostril and the right. Begin to slowly walk your hands in and bring yourself to a seated pose. So if you have a blanket or you want to roll your mat and tuck it forward bend. So draw the flesh away from your sitting bones so the inner thighs start to pin towards the floor. And if you had a big turkey tail on your tailbone back there and you were trying to fan those feathers out, imagine that you were creating that low back curve to fan your turkey feathers out. Now, if you have your blocks and you know that that might be accessible to you as you come down for a place to land, maybe grab your blocks. Otherwise, you can just keep that heart reaching forward. So start to creepy crawl your fingertips forward. Keep reaching your chest forward. Keep your tail feathers fanning up and back and your legs engaged by curling your toes towards your knees. Not locking the knees, keeping a soft bend there. Stretch your chest and breathe. Again, if you have the blocks and it's accessible to you in some way to place your forehead down with the stacking blocks, do that. Let your head rest. Otherwise, keep stretching your chest forward. Begin to slowly rise up. Separate those blocks. And bring the left shin parallel to the front edge of your mat. I'm not mirroring you guys, by the way. Left shin parallel to the front edge of the mat. And bring your right heel back towards your hip, as if you were in Virabhadrasana. So if you can bring that back leg to a 90 degree, turning the toes out, do that, but it's kind of awkward. So if it's really awkward for you, don't do it. Just tuck your heel in towards your hip. Bring your hands to your heart. Anchor into both sitting bones as much as you can. Now that left sitting bone is obviously going to be a little bit more heavy. But do your best to get that right hip as close to the earth as you can. Hands to the heart. Begin to lean yourself forward and lean yourself back. Find that tiny little cat and cow stretch here. So heart forward. Hips back, spine rounds, heart forward, hips back, spine rounds. One more time, heart forward, and hips back, spine rounds. Come back to center, lean forward, lead with your heart. Begin to turn your heart towards your left knee. Keep leaning out over that left knee. Lean out a little bit more. Use that shin and that hip to keep you grounded. And then slowly come back to center. Turn your heart towards your shin. Lean forward there. Bring yourself back to center. Turn towards that left heel and lean forward there. Oh. Bring yourself back to center, turn your heart, and we'll bring this back leg into Janushirshasana. So take the right leg and swing it forward, bringing the sole of that left foot in towards your inner thigh. Flex your toes back, adjust the flesh away from your seat again. Taking Parsva Janushirshasana, slide the right thumb side of your hand to the inside of your shin. Raise your left arm up and over. Again, not looking to grip the toes or even getting close, but just allowing the shoulders to soften, the left heart, the left ribs to roll open. And find that balanced breath again. Slowly begin to rise and turn your navel towards the long leg now. If you need to adjust the flesh away from your seat or narrow up that left knee, do that. And crawl your hands out along that long right leg. Keep extending your chest forward. Keep a softness to that right knee, not locking. And if it's accessible to you, maybe bringing your left hand across your shin or ankle and sliding your right fingertips beyond your right hip for a really gentle twist. Keep your heart open, your spine long, your core slightly toned and engaged. Easy breaths here. Begin to slowly unwind your pose and walk yourself back in. This time extend your legs straight forward rather than coming to wide legs, making sure hip to knee to heel, they're coming straight out of your hips. Begin to slightly internally rotate your toes like you're pigeon-toed, and then slightly externally rotate them. Now make sure you have a little bend in both knees, so not blocking out through your knees. Start to turn out and turn in. And turn out and in. And one more time, turn out and turn in. Bring your feet back to parallel, bend your knees a little bit more, and start to walk your hands forward. Again, allowing those turkey tail feathers to fan up and back. Keep stretching your chest forward. Maybe it needs to be a little bit wiggly now. And then when you get to that end point where you're like, oh yeah, my hamstrings are shouting, maybe just gently nudging you to stop, and breathe, and notice. Slowly walk yourself back up. This time we'll bend the right knee and bring the left heel back for Bharadvajasana's twist. So bring the right shin parallel to the front of the mat. Again, you can 90-90 with that big internal and external rotation of back hip and front hip, or you can just soften that back ankle and tuck it in. So your choice. Bring your hands to your heart. Again, start to find that lean forward into a tiny cow stretch. And a little lean back, coming back towards the tailbone and back hip. Bring yourself forward, close your eyes, and just move with your breath here. One more time, leaning forward and leaning back. Bring yourself a little more upright and start to lean forward, but hold it this time. So bring a little more weight into that front shin, outer thigh, outer hip. Feel that left sitting bone lift away from the floor. Bring yourself to center, turn your chest towards your knee now, and lean forward towards the right knee. And bring yourself back to center. Turn your heart all the way over towards your heel and lean towards that heel, really using that right shin and hip for some leverage. Bring yourself back to center one more time towards the shin. And bring yourself back to center. Begin to extend this long left leg. And fold the sole of the right foot in. Adjust the flesh away from your seat again. Activate those left toes, finding Janushirshasana side bend. So bring the thumb side of your hand and slide it down towards your shin or ankle. Begin to peel those right ribs open, soften the right shoulder, and maybe take that right arm up and above your ear. If it creates any undue tension, don't do it. Just put your hand down on your ribs instead or on your hip. Stay relaxed, find that smooth breath again. Begin to slowly rise back up and slide this left foot slightly forward again, maybe adjusting the flesh away from your seat again. Begin to creepy crawl your hands to frame your shin. Stretch your chest forward. Deep breath in. A little bend in that left knee. Maybe take your right hand across your shin and walk your fingertips out. Come back to that full balanced breath. One more long breath in and out here, wherever you landed. coming in, finding a folk pose. Bring your hands behind your thighs, lift your feet, engage your core. Maybe release your hands so they're framing your shins instead. Deep breaths in and out. Slowly lower to low boat, Ardhanavasana. So begin to slowly lower those heels, bringing your back body towards the floor. Hug into your middle and lower yourself all the way down beneath the mat. Stretch long, reach your hands up and above your shoulders and tense up your body. And then let all of that go. Begin to bend your knees, stack them above your hips so your legs are in 90 degrees. Arms can still be above the head or at a T or maybe next to your hips. Tick-tock your knees to the right. Back to center and to the left. And back to center. Press up through the soles of your feet and bend your knees. We'll do that again. Tick-tock the knees to the right and back to center and to the left. And back to center, extend up through the soles of the feet. And one more time, tick-tock to the right, knees at 90. And back to center and to the left. And back to center, press up through the soles of your feet. And bring your feet down in front of your hips. Take a moment to scan your body once more. The imbalances, where you feel balanced and where you don't. If there's a last bend or twist or stretch or a hug that makes sense for you, you do you, and find that last pose to complete your practice today. Perhaps it's a happy baby or a bridge pose. Or you'd like to land in legs up the wall and you find a wall space, or you drape your knees over the sofa. Return yourself to this place of rest and peace and ease. If you need to put on any layers, any socks or sweatshirts or anything, please feel free to do that. Cover yourself with a blanket. Let your shoulders cradle the back of your heart, snuggle them underneath you. And once again, bring your attention back to your breath. Allow yourself to be held by the earth. Allow your right and left shoulder to be equally heavy. Your left and right hips to be equally heavy. Notice how your heels hug the earth, the backs or the palms of your hands hug the earth. If you have additional time to remain in Shavasana today, by all means, please do that. Otherwise, begin to gently move your body again. Wiggle your fingers and wiggle your toes. Perhaps bend your knees. If it supports you today, rock slightly from side to side. And as you rock to the left and to the right, notice which side chooses you today and move yourself to that side. Take a moment to pause and rest. Press down into the earth and rise to an easy seated pose, whatever that looks like for you. Sit well. And stack your head over your heart, over your hips. Find balance. And draw your hands to your heart. Close your eyes or softly gaze to the earth, taking in these words from Dana Falls. Blessing. May grace abound, and ecstasy too. In the fray of everyday life, may you embody your true nature. May you breathe in love and breathe out love until love is your only reality, even in the midst of challenge. May you not deny difficulties or the shadow side of life, but find divine presence inside even the hardest moments. May miracles come your way often, and especially today. Return to whatever your heart is holding today. Prayers of thanks and giving and blessings to those that we love, whether we can be with them or not. Thanks for taking time out on your mat with me today, and Carol and Charlene and Cyndy and Maureen and everyone who's joining us. In love and in gratitude to each of you, let's bow to one another as we say, Namaste.